If you are an XRP investor, you gotta love where we stand right now. We're getting ready to onboard traditional finance onto the blockchain. Ethereum, they're doing a ground up rebuild. Literally every part of that chain, they're going to toss it in the garbage and start all over again. Looks like XRP's designed from day one, where you can add extra functionality in modular fashion, is paying off in a big way. We look over at Bitcoin, they got a whole host of problems. They have issues with miners because now they can go off to AI and make money, so they're not sticking around. We have problems with the governance. Should you allow NFTs and all this other bloat on the chain, or should it just be monetary? That is a big fight, and that could turn really ugly, because what happens if they fork and BlackRock supports one fork and Coinbase another? It could get messy. And when we look at the XRP Ledger, everyone is kind of in agreement what this chain means, what it does, what its core functionality is. And we're hitting on all cylinders as we get ready to really start marching towards mass adoption. It's no longer some point in the far off future. No, it is today. The revolution starts today. And that's a big deal here. And I think XRP is perfectly positioned. Now, I was watching DAI today. Great video. I think this actually might have been from yesterday. But he brings up a point that not enough people really understand. See, you can't look at how the world has always been during your lifetime. During the recent past, things change and change quickly. And he talks about the origin of really crypto technology, whether it be Bitcoin and it just magically appears by this mysterious Satoshi person, and XRP, and you have Ripple, this company that just seems to have all the right connections, and this guy from the NSA building it, and David Schwartz. Like, really, I think what we're doing, of course, the U.S. government weaponizes the financial system, and we understand the power that brings. But what if someone in the future, could be China, could be someone else, they're weaponizing it against us? We're going to have to be able to operate through that environment. And it's really the point that he is making, the importance for the future of this country, of really the West here, being able to transact in a decentralized manner, as he talks about the cycles of monetary, policy and control, and, nations rise and nations fall, and you got to be ready for the future. I think crypto is a big part of that. That's why you see this government supporting this. It could be very well in the future. You saw what happened in Iran. We asked allies for help, and China essentially told them don't. And you saw which side, NATO and other people chose. They didn't want to get involved because China would have punished them monetarily. And that could happen in the future with financial markets as well. We may be the ones being sanctioned or unplugged, and we're going to need to transact. I think that's really why, crypto is so important to us. So you can't look at how the world is today. You have to peek around the corner and think about what it may look 5, 10, 15 years from now, because it could be wildly different. Absolutely. And it's a matter of national security, I think, that we continue to modernize this financial system here. Now, this is interesting. I saw this article. Here's why XRP's RWA market is now 4 times larger than its entire ETF sector. I've been saying this. Listen, ETFs, they're the big driver for Bitcoin. They're not going to be the driver for XRP, for utility networks, for utility coins. They are the multiplier. They are the amplifier. ETFs are going to be a big deal for XRP as well. You're going to see a lot of institutional money. We're already seeing it. While Bitcoin's flooding out, we see, Ethereum bleeding out, XRP seeing inflows. It's strong in their ETF, but that's not the main point. It's about utility. And we see RWAs, the most important sector in crypto. XRP is the fastest growing blockchain, and it's growing much faster than even ETFs. And so that the utility is going to be the driver of value here. Interesting little chart we see here. Let's see if I can blow this up. We see within RWAs, of course, the leader, Canton, it's ridiculous, 321 billion. Ethereum, 18 billion. XRP, it's only at 4 billion. But it wasn't even existing a year ago. You're talking about rapid and massive growth, passing BNB. BNB has been doing this for a long time. And, we blew right by them. This is going to continue being a high growth sector for the XRP Ledger. And it's going to drive a lot of value for this blockchain. And we see the title here, farther in this article, Tokenization emerges as XRP Ledger's key institutional growth driver. While tokenization is growing across the market, what makes Ripple's momentum different. And again, it's just the speed. It's how fast it is growing. It's the fact that it's outpacing even the ETF market. It's a big deal. And that's what we want. We want ultimately utility to set our value. And then you're going to have all that speculation that's going to, pile on top of it. But you want that base, that reality there that, there's real value being built here for the future. That is really what matters. And it looks strong as ever here for the XRP Ledger. Mohamed El-Erian, he was on CNBC today. This is interesting. He's telling us kind of what's going on with the economy and what we should expect from the Fed, which is really important for the crypto market to understand that.
We've talked about this. You do not see a cut or a hike for the remainder of the year. Yes?
That's correct.
And what's the reason? What's the calculus behind that?
First, I think the worst of inflation is behind us. I think we're going to have the peak of this cycle either the June data or July. And what's left driving inflation comes mainly from the AI, and that has a positive supply side coming with it, as opposed to what we've left behind, which is oil and tariffs, which had a negative supply side aspect. So the Fed can live with that. Why not cut too early? Just wait and see how.
So we're a little too early to actually see cuts, but at the same time, we're not going to see interest rates, any hikes, as some people have speculated. And we have a new Fed. And it's really important their approach. If you understand this, this is a crypto-friendly Fed. And it's not just about being crypto-friendly. That this Fed, Kevin Warsh, is the chair, understands the future. The fact that markets will be tokenized, dollars will be digitized, right? And they will go global. And they're going to be friendly and helpful into actually making that happen. I also like that Kevin Warsh is saying, listen, if you want us to come out here and pump the stock market or pump the crypto, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that any longer. What we are going to do is do our job and, follow our mandate and protect against inflation and also the job market. Those are the two things they got to do, and we're going to balance that. And that's all we're going to worry about. I think that's going to be much more effective than what we saw out of Jerome Powell. Now, before we continue here, I have the comments as subscriber only. Keep those bots out of here. We just want real humans keeping the comment section, real and also safe. So I hope everyone is enjoying that. We've really cleaned up all of those bots. I haven't seen many make it through here recently here. Great interview by King Solomon. And he's talking here about TradFi and the difference between TradFi and crypto. And in this interview, the guy said, you have 127 trillion equity market that is tokenizing. It's going to happen overnight. This is the head of Franklin Templeton Crypto. He says there is no more TradFi and crypto markets. It is one market. Understand how big a deal that is. 127 trillion coming and ripping onto the market. And again, the leader in that area in terms of growing the fastest, XRP, just killing it here. Crypto Sensei saying major tokenization continues moving higher on the regulatory agenda. Paul Atkins of the SEC says the SEC's 2026 priority includes crypto reform, tokenization of securities, and expanding crypto products. Why is that? Well, because the big money, they need this, they want it. Again, your BlackRocks, your Fidelities, all your big players out there, they want to take this stuff. It's really two parts. They want to make it autonomous, running around the clock, of course, more efficient, settle instantly. That's all great, but it's taking it global. We're going to hear from Larry Fink of BlackRock exactly what he's thinking about with that here. SEC, again, they're moving to rewrite the rule books for crypto, and that's all about exactly clearing the way for tokenization of assets. It's so important here. All right, we're going to listen to Larry Fink here. He's going to tell us why firms like BlackRock are interested in tokenization and how big this really is. I don't think most people understand what this really means. Listen to this clip.
I love capital network, but there's $4.1 trillion of money sitting globally in digital wallets. A lot of that money is outside the United States. If we could tokenize a ETF, digitize that ETF, we could have investors who are just beginning to, invest in markets through, let's say, crypto. They're investing in it, but now we could get them into the more traditional long-term retirement products. So we look at that as the next wave of opportunity for BlackRock over the next tens of years as we start moving away from traditional financial assets by repotting them in a digital manner, and then having people stay in that digital ecosystem. They can have their cash, and we have the largest cash money market fund that's tokenized called BITL. Our Bitcoin IBIT is now over $100 billion.
$100 billion, I know,
so
from not that long ago.
And 2 years ago, zero.
Yeah.
And by the way, BITL, their money market that's been tokenized, that's also with securitized, you can cash out into RLUSD. You don't think that Ripple's going to be involved in Larry Fink's plans? You're not paying attention. Plus, you have the Open USD that was just announced. Of course, BlackRock, Ripple, Stellar. Yeah, they know what they're doing here. But it's what he said there. $4.1 trillion. Well, he can't get his mitts on. They want to take these markets global. You have multi-trillion-dollar companies, and we need more money flowing in, essentially, is what's going on here. These markets are getting really inflated, and we need more investors. And so, yes, it's about autonomous markets that run around the clock, that settle instantly, but it's about going global. That is really what they have their eyes on. And all of that money that is sitting there, that cash that they can get in BlackRock ETFs and all those regular investment products, that's what this means. And it's big, big business here. We see, again, Crypto Sensei, Ripple EU license changes what's possible for institutions, one regulatory framework across 30 countries, payments, liquidity, custody, and treasury infrastructure. They have the whole infrastructure, and then they have the licensure to operate in, well, whatever territory you want. Does that sound like the kind of company that BlackRock is going to want a partnership with as they go global with their tokenized funds? You betcha. You bet exactly what they're looking to do. This is built specifically for institutional adoption and one of a small number of fully licensed providers. So there's not a lot of competition within this space for the services that Ripple provides. And remember, why do we care if people use Ripple? Because they're always, when they can, going to pivot back to use XRP Ledger. And of course, they're going to be doing that a lot because XRP Ledger has the utility, the world-class utility for a lot of use cases. This is what you always want to pay attention to. The on-chain metrics, that's going to tell you what's going to happen with the price. New XRP wallets just hit 26,000 in a week, the highest since March. That's a 40% jump from the week before. And an on-chain adoption, it never lies. That's what you want to pay attention to. That's what matters. Are people using the chain? Do you have new wallets, on-chain transactions? And that's all looking really good right now for the XRP Ledger. Usually you see those metrics start to tick up, and then what do you know? Boom, there goes the price. I think we might be heading towards that exact thing. SBI, they're within a sneeze of becoming the largest crypto exchange in Japan. Now $2 million, or $2 million in a serious stablecoin push. Ripple's RLUSD, Circle, and a yen-backed stablecoin as well. They look to be number one soon because of stablecoin lending. Here's the thing, SBI, they have a wide array of crypto investments. They have Bitcoin mining. As you can see, they use USDC as well. Yen-backed stablecoin, of course, but they're a big owner. They own a big chunk of Ripple, and so they're going to support RLUSD, XRP Ledger. And so if you're going to have the biggest crypto exchange in Japan, a very serious market with a connection to Ripple and the XRP Ledger, that's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a real good thing for us long term. You better believe it. We see this. I've thrown in the towel, Ada. Charles Hoskinson finally admits XRP's Model 1. And again, XRP Ledger is just as decentralized as anything else. And people always focus on, well, Ripple centralized. Well, of course they are. They're a company. They're a for-profit company. They should be centralized and things like this. But they're building real utility, leveraging the blockchain. Of course, that's going to build growth. Anyone that says otherwise is just kind of being ridiculous. No different than Charles does things for profit, and Ethereum Joe, he's got a lot of for profit, and I'm sure Vitalik does as well. Like, that's what it's all about. Take the utility and build real businesses on top of it. And so it's nothing, special about Ripple other than the fact that they are really successful. And it's no different than what everyone else is trying to do. Even with Bitcoin, you have all these businesses that are on top of that tech stack. And that's what really matters. People just like to invent new things for the XRP Ledger, and it's really ridiculous. Now, Charles had a little meltdown today because of the new updates coming to Ethereum here. Let's hear what he has to say.
They're pathological liars. Honestly speaking, they're liars. They're either stupid, they're lying, or they're purposely misleading people at this point. And God, it's so frustrating to me because they shit on us again and again and again. They say UTXO is too hard for developers. No one wants to do it. And now they're literally putting in their 3 to 5 year roadmap that they have to pivot to UTXO. We invent all the infrastructure for it. So instead of saying we should be like Cardano and give us attribution and credit, they don't even mention it. You can't say the C word in Ethereum. You can't say it. It's a crime.
Charles isn't wrong. Of course, they've been saying this for a long time within Cardano, that is the path forward. But if you're waiting for pats on the back, I don't think it's coming, to be honest with you. Just take solace in the fact that you were right? And Ethereum is now going to a more Cardano way of doing things in their 3 to 4 year roadmap. And, I think that's fine. Look, this is the thing. You have to be like Ethereum and actually onboard people. That's the real key there. What you need to do, not worry about getting kudos and credit and all this other stuff. I can tell you right now, Ethereum, they're going to take his technology, his model, his ideas, and people are going to use it. He has to do the same. Again, he's right on a lot of stuff. This is a very knowledgeable guy. Just take what they've already built and be happy that, you know what, Ethereum is going to take 3 to 4 years to get there. You're already there. Leverage that for your own good. I think that's really the key takeaway here. He doesn't need to get props from Vitalik or anything else. Just take the technology and package it in a way that people want to use. To me, that's all Cardano has to do. You let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.